Hey, what is up, everybody? Wow, it's been like a week since I've made a video. You know, you're probably wondering why it's been like a week. It's because I was busy doing other things. I was in um Pennsylvania. I was in Pennsylvania. Um, to be honest with you, it was about like a week ago. I was actually driving to Pennsylvania. Now I'm back in Massachusetts. It's really weird. Um, So that's why I haven't really been posting any videos for you guys or anything like that because I was in Pennsylvania doing other things. Not gonna lie, probably more fun things because we just had a blast there. Um, so we drove up Friday, and then on Saturday, we were gonna go to Hershey Park, but knowing ahead of time on Saturday is probably not a good idea to go to an amusement park because that's what it is if you don't know. So we figured we go to the Hershey's Chocolate Factory, um, which was made, which has all like the Hershey stuff, like the chocolate balls and all that stuff, and it's like a replica of it. You can go to museums and stuff, like taste chocolate challenges. You can take a tour of how chocolate was made and all that stuff. Um, you could go to like a sit down movie where they have trying to think, where they have Reese's, Hershey bar, and something else. Oh, Kisses, and they do like a little movie. That's pretty fun. Um, and then we went to what else did we do in there? We made our own chocolate. I've already started eating it, and that was pretty cool. What else did they have in there? I think that might be it. It's a lot of fun though. And it's a nice thing to do for a day. And we actually did this trolley thing, where there was this guy named like Wilbur, and he ends up ditching the trolley. If you had to be there for it, and then so that's what we did Saturday, and then on Sunday and Monday we went to Hershey Park. There's some awesome roller coasters there, an awesome ride there to go on. Um, One I suggest you go on is Storm Runner. That's awesome. Um, and Tuesday we ended up leaving. First we went to the gift shop at the chocolate factory. Um, and wow, it's just I ended up getting this big Hershey's chocolate bar that I haven't been able to eat yet. So that was cool. It's like the world's largest one. It's on Facebook if you want to see it. All this stuff is on my Facebook page, and that's really cool stuff. I have my dad posted those pictures. I didn't. Um, and there's other pictures I'm gonna post. There aren't a lot of pictures because I don't really like. For some odd reason, I don't really like to take pictures because people are usually taking pictures anyways at these events, so I just don't feel like the need to take them. Um, and I don't really take good pictures for some reason. So then Wednesday, we ended up going to the Cape. My dad had a week off and he didn't want to just sit in the house, which is understandable. Um, and we did that. We drove Wednesday. We went swimming and all that stuff, and we went to the Cape Cod Canal, and then we ended up Thursday doing the same stuff. Um, and then Friday, which is today, we came home. And I got home about a couple hours ago. I had to take a shower and all that stuff. And I'm back to doing the task at hand, though. Back to making videos. If you want to check out all the Facebook stuff of this trip, you can check it out on Facebook. I believe it's in the description box down below. It's my Facebook, Owen Finch. And by now I'm back to doing wrestling videos. I have a lot of wrestling videos I got to catch up on. I got to catch up on this show, SummerSlam, Raw, uh, main event if I can find it somewhere, SmackDown, the NXT show after this show, and Superstars because I'm probably gonna end up watching that. Um, Now I already watched these shows, SummerSlam and NXT Takeover Brooklyn. Um, but I couldn't do the video, so I'm gonna sit down and watch them again. I'm looking forward to that. They were. I get to what I thought of these shows. Um, because if I do the review without even looking at it again, it's gonna be crap. So I figured I just sit down and watch it again. I already have my notes and everything, so maybe it's gonna be a nice chance. I've never done this for a show before. I usually just watch it once and then review it. So maybe it's gonna be a better viewing experience. Um, but I figured something that would probably be easier is after each match that happens on the show, I'll give my thoughts on what's happened on the show so far in small videos and then combine them all into a big video. Maybe that would be easier. Maybe that would make the review better. If it doesn't, then I won't ever do it again. I just figured that would be something cool to do. I'm going to start off by watching the pre-show, and then I'm going to come back, do my review of that. Then after each match, I'll talk about it, give my thoughts on it, and then combine it all into a big video, and you guys will be able to see it that way. And I can't wait, because I actually enjoyed this show. Yeah, I can't wait to watch this show again. So, this is going to be my review of NXT Brooklyn. No, I screwed up. NXT Takeover Brooklyn. This is going to be my review of that. I'm going to talk about each match. And I haven't seen anything else from this point. I don't know anything that happened. So this is as if I was watching it as it's happening. So I would appreciate it if you didn't post in the comments any spoilers. Thank you. And I'm going to watch the pre-show and be back to give my thoughts on it. Okay, so this took a little longer than I thought to make because I had to eat dinner. So took a little while than I thought, but you know, it is what it is. Um, so on to the pre-show because I just watched that. Um, and we had the panel of Renee Young, Corey Graves, Lita. I really popped to see Lita there because I didn't think she was going to be on this show, and it was a nice surprise. And Byron Saxon were on the panel for this show, and they did a great job all night. I thought they did awesome. Corey Graves is just great at being that heel, like commentator. He really is great. He just gives facts, and he's just great as being a heel commentator. He really should be moved up to SmackDown at least, or at least main event or Superstars or something like that. Byron Saxon's pretty good too. I liked watching Corey Graves and Byron Saxon argue about things. Lita was great and Renee Young was great, so I thought they all did great on the panel. And Samoa Joe got interviewed. He talks about his match coming up with Baron Corbin. They played a great video package for that match, talking about Baron Corbin, showing who he is, talking about how when he came to the door he made an impact, how nobody gets up from the end of days, and how everything that he's done he's achieved. He's a pro at boxing and jiu-jitsu, how he got paid to go to college to play football, which I liked. He got paid to play football, and it chose him in the NFL. And he talked about how all these indie wrestlers get at worship, but he just doesn't give a damn. He just comes in and does what he does. I liked it. And he talks about how he was finally time for him to make the call to come to NXT. And Samoa Joe talked about how he got called to NXT, which was absolutely true. This was what made that awesome. And Samoa Joe's interview, though, he gets interviewed by Rich Brennan. And he says that Baron Corbin has had many opportunities to go face to face with Samoa Joe and attack him, but he chose to attack me from behind on the stage. And he says that tonight he's going to choke out Baron Corbin. I thought it was a pretty good promo by Samoa Joe. And then we get and then Neville arrives at the building. It shows a limo pull up, and we see Neville arrive. I thought that was really cool. I really popped for that. And Finn Balor comes out of the limo, and then Cesaro. I thought it was really cool stuff, so I figured it. They didn't like do anything or anything like that, but it really made me pop, so I put it in my notes. And then Rich Brennan interviews Tyler Breeze, and he's doing like a photo shoot, and Tyler Breeze talks about and Rich Brennan tries to ask him a question about his opponent Jushin Thunder Liger, and Tyler Breeze says that he's preparing for the match of his life, and he doesn't need him interrupting him, and he insults him and puts like a Jushin Thunder Liger mask on him, and he said that he's never looked better. I thought it was great. I think Tyler Breeze was pretty awesome here. And that was pretty much the pre-show. It was actually a pretty good pre-show. I really like NXT pre-shows because they feel like a real sported event. So I thought that was a really good pre-show. It's a nice, easy sit-through, so I really thought it was nice. So now I'm going to start watching the actual show and giving my thoughts on it. Okay, so as you can tell, I'm in a different scenery now. I originally was filming this at my grandmother's house, but then I had to eat dinner and all that stuff, and I was forced to come here. Not that I don't want to be here, but my sister's having a sleepover with like 4 of her friends, and if you are an older brother and have a little sister with 4 friends, you know my pain. Um, I'm just kidding, kind of. Not really. I don't know. But I just started watching the show, and Triple H is in the ring, and he cuts this great promo talking about the rise of NXT. Talks about how it just started as a whisper until the fans started screaming and it became noticed. How they were gaining momentum and then the fans made it unstoppable. How they wanted to change and they made it a revolution. And and he said, and then he raises his hands. I forget what he says after that, but the place is packed. The arena is packed, and that's just awesome because NXT, like, originally when it came in 2010, it was not really a big deal. But now that Triple H has taken control, it's a big deal now. Everybody loves NXT. I talk to people at school and all that stuff, and they say that NXT is their favorite wrestling product out there. And I personally agree with them. It's actually my favorite wrestling product. NXT is just awesome. So I like to see that it became big. And Triple H then says, "We are NXT," and he was having originally had one of those wired microphones, and then he grabbed a regular microphone, and everyone just goes ballistic. This was an awesome moment. It's nice to see where NXT has come from now, from 4 years ago, and then when Triple H took it over, it was kind of nothing then, and then he really just made NXT something. Um, and if and I just can't wait to see what's going to happen once Triple H takes over the main WWE product. But I figured I'd just kind of talk about this. I'm going to start watching the rest of the show now. Okay, so after that great Triple H promo, it's time to kick things into action. So, we're on to the show, even though that was technically the real show, but you get what I'm saying. We had Corey Graves, Rich Brennan, and Byron Saxton on commentary for this show. And we got the first match on the show. It was Tyler Breeze versus Jushin Thunder Liger. This was Jushin Thunder Liger's first match in WWE, but he's obviously very well known because of his WCW and New Japan Pro Wrestling days. And I never really got to see him because I didn't. I became a fan of wrestling after WCW closed, and I don't watch any Japan stuff because I can't get it in my area. However, so I didn't even think I knew who this guy was, but however, when this guy came out, I actually think I did see him wrestle before. I think they had like one of these, some sort of like wrestling appreciation days or something on YouTube, and I think he wrestled on that show. I didn't know him, but now that I've seen him, I know who he is and all that stuff, and I think he wrestled on that show. I don't remember who he fought, but that's who he was. And Tyler Breeze comes out with a great entrance. He comes out with the way he did the last NXT Takeover, and I thought that was great. I love that entrance. And this was a great opener. It was really enjoyable. Tyler Breeze is getting the best of him, and he sits up against the turnbuckles, and then Jushin Thunder Liger gets the best of Tyler Breeze, does the same thing. I thought that was great, and Jushin Thunder Liger gets Tyler Breeze in a modified surfboard stretch. No, yeah, surfboard stretch, which was awesome. And then he gets Tyler Breeze in the Romero special, which I love that move. It was awesome, and he hits a monkey flip right under Tyler Breeze, and Tyler Breeze just lands face first on the mat. I thought that was great. That was a sick spot. And then he tries to go for the Liger bomb. Tyler Breeze fights out of it. He thumbs him in the eyes and hits the beauty shot, but Jushin Thunder Liger kicks out, and Tyler Breeze takes over the match for a while, and he hits some really innovative offense. One of the moves is he did like a neck breaker into like a back breaker, and he just did a knees right. He kneed Liger right in the spine. That was really sick. And Jushin Thunder Liger tries to make a comeback. He hits a sick Enziguri in the corner. He hits a tilt-a-whirl what's it called? Totoro backbreaker on Tyler Breeze, and he goes up top to do the splash, but Breeze gets the knees up, and he gets him in a crucifix pin, but Jushin Thunder Liger kicks out, and Breeze is punching him in the corner, so the referee has to pull him back. Liger hits like a palm strike right into Breeze's face. That was sick. And he goes off the top to do the splash, but Breeze rolls outside the ring, and he hits a somersault high flying move onto Breeze, and he puts Breeze back in the ring, and he goes for the Liger bomb, but Breeze counters it and goes for the beauty shot, but Liger counters that, and then Liger hits like a big right hand and the Liger bomb on Breeze for the win. But this was a great opener. It was really cool to see Jushin Thunder Liger in the WWE. That was just awesome. Great opener. I thought this was a great way to kick off the show with with some nice spots, and it wasn't like one of those like big spot matches. It was just a nice. It felt like a nice old school wrestling match. So I thought this was great. And then they play a video package for, let me get her name, Nia Jax. I don't know if I said that right, but she talks about how, most women take what they want. And, she said that she's not most women, and said that when people are frightened by her, but just by her smile. And then that was it. I think that was great. I actually seen this girl wrestle before. She wrestled at that NXT show that I went to when I was in Florida, and I feel like she's gonna be a really dominant woman when she comes to NXT. She's gonna be like one of those monsters. I wanted her to be booked like she's like a. Nobody can stop her. She's a monster. She goes on. She becomes the new NXT Women's Champion. She gets like a nice long reign, and you have somebody come up to beat her for it. I think that should be what happens. But we're gonna have to wait and see with that. But that's all I've really like seen so far. Even though I've technically seen the whole show, but that's all I've seen right now to kind of talk about. So I'm gonna continue watching the show. But so far the show has been great. Okay, so now we have the NXT Tag Team Title match. It's Blake and Murphy with Alexa Bliss ringside defending the NXT Tag Team titles against the Vaudevillains, which consist of Aiden English and Simon Gosh. And the Vaudevillains entered like they were like, I think the 50s, because they had like the hat and the dress shirts on. I thought that was a nice entrance there. And Alexa Bliss gets on the mic and says, because somebody was supposed to come out with them to take care of her, make sure she like didn't get involved in the match and to even out the odds. But you said no one's out here to help you. When you want to know why? Because nobody likes you. And who comes out? None other than Blue Pants. And the crowd went nuts when she came out. I actually marked out myself. But you could kind of see it going that way after it happens, because they were both, the Vaudevillains were wearing blue. So you could kind of tell that she was gonna be the one to help out, but it was still nice. And this was a great NXT Tag Team Title match here. Now maybe I'm overrating the match, but I really enjoyed this match. I might do this as like Tag Team Match of the Year for WWE anyways. I really enjoyed it. But then again, I could just be overrating it. The Vaudevillains dominate the match. Simon Goss gets an armbar in on Blake, which was nice, and then Blake rolls him up into a pin, and he kicks out. And the Vaudevillains are dominating, and then Aiden English tries to do like a springboard into the ring onto Blake, but Murphy trips him, so he ends up falling on the apron, and actually looked like a really nasty fall there. And Blake and Murphy dominate Aiden English for a while, and Aiden English tries to make the tag to Simon Gosh, but I think it was Blake pulled Simon Gosh out, so he couldn't make the down from the apron, so he couldn't make the tag. And they hit a sick double neck breaker. They hit like a back suplex into a neck breaker. Blake and Murphy on the Aiden English. That was an awesome spot. Then Aiden English, Blake tries to charge at Aiden English, but he gets his feet up, and Blake and Murphy bump heads. So Aiden English is able to make the tag to Simon Gosh. He gets the hot and Simon Gosh gets the hot tag on Blake, and he does it to Murphy too because he comes in the win. And at least Simon Gosh did some different stuff in the hot tags. I thought he hit some nice, unique moves there. And he tries to pick him up for the Vaudevillain's old finisher, what he would do like the Roland Senton, and Aiden English would like do the neck breaker, but he throws Simon Goss outside the ring, and the Blake and Murphy try to do double suplex Aiden English off the turnbuckle, but Aiden English pushes him, and Simon Goss power bombs Blake and Murphy, and Aiden English hits a swanton bomb off the top onto Murphy, and I thought he was gonna get him there, but Murphy kicked out. That was a really awesome near fall there. I thought he was gonna win it there, and then Aiden English tags in Simon Gosh. Alexa Bliss gets on the apron. Blue Pants pulls her down. Blue Pants starts chasing Alexa Bliss. And Alexa Bliss is in the win with the Vaudevillain. She goes to slap him. But Blue Pants stops her, and Blue Pants slaps Alexa Bliss. They start fighting. I thought that was a nice touch that she slapped her because it was like kind of like what's it called, payback. After what happened, since Alexa Bliss had been doing it to the Vaudevillains for weeks, and then Blake throws Aiden English outside the ring, rolls up Simon Goss, but Simon Goss kicks out, and then the Vaudevillains hit the Roland Dervish on Blake for the win and become new NXT Tag Team Champions. And what I really liked at the end was Murphy. No, actually, he hit it on Murphy, not Blake, by the way. They hit the Roland Dervish on Murphy. I screwed up. But Blake was trying to come in to break the pinfall, and he was just 1 second too late. I thought that really added a lot to the match there. And yeah, great stuff. I like the Vaudevillains. I'm glad they're NXT Tag Team Champions. I think it's been a long time coming. I think they put the belts on them at the right time. So I like this here. I thought it was great stuff and a great tag team match. And it was really cool to see the pop that Blue Pants got in this too. I don't think this is going to be a permanent thing though. I think this is just going to be like a one and done thing. I don't know if it's going to be like a one and done thing, but I think that's going to be only last until this feud's over, and then Blue Pants will do her own thing. But this was really cool stuff there. I really like this match and all that stuff. Okay, so we had the next match. It was Tyler Breeze versus Apollo Crews. This was Apollo Crews' big debut in WWE, and I love Tyler Breeze's new gimmick. That perfect 10 gimmick, I think it's gonna really work for him. He now has it shaved on the back of his head. Well, the number 10, and everybody's starting to get the chant over 10, 10, 10, and they have signs on it. I think it's gonna turn. He's gonna end up turning face because the crowd's getting so behind him. So I hope they stick with this gimmick because I think it could really work. Apollo Crews is really awesome too. After watching him, and he ends up dominating the match at first, and they go back and forth. Anytime they do something special, they do that 10, 10, 10 chant. And Apollo Crews goes to do like a springboard off the top, but Dillinger counters into a drop kick, and he dominates the match for a while. And he goes for a super kick, and Apollo Crews blocks it, but then he ends up hitting it anyways, which was awesome. And he goes for it again, but Apollo Crews blocks it and hits an enziguri. I thought that was cool. And Apollo Crews starts going off on him, and he hits a Gorilla Plus slam into a standing moonsault for the win. But Apollo Crews, I think, is really sick. I think he's going to be, he has big things coming on NXT. I think he could be the next NXT champion. Not the next one, but like a future NXT champion. And I think he could do a lot of great things on NXT. I don't know about the main WWE product, though. But NXT, I definitely think he has some good things coming. And it pisses me off that they eliminated Patrick off Tough Enough, because if they had thought about it, they could have had this guy win Tough Enough. And because let's be honest, Tough Enough is rigged. I mean, they just showed the cast like the original cast, like the cast that's left, and they got booed out of the building. So obviously the fans ain't picking who they want to win Tough Enough. It's all rigged. So they really could have had Patrick win this thing and go into a tag team with Apollo Crews, because they both have the same attitude. They both have I just think they would really work as a tag team. And they both have the same passion about wrestling. So I think they could have really been great at doing this, but they chose not to. Then William Regal's backstage, and he announces that there was going to be a Dusty Rhodes tag team match. And he said that started on September 2nd, I think it was the date. There's going to be a tag team tournament to determine the new #1 contenders to the to the NXT Tag Team titles, and it's going to end on October 2nd, I think. Let me look it up. Yeah, I think October set. I think it's the 7th, actually. I'm not really. It's gonna end in October. And this will whoever wins this tournament will be the new #1 contenders to the NXT Tag Team titles. I think that's awesome. The NXT Tag Team division is really high right now. I think it's great. There's a lot of tag teams out there that are great. So I think this is a great move. And it's a nice way to pay homage to Dusty Rhodes too. So I think that's a great idea. But yeah, this was good stuff here. Okay, so next was Baron Corbin versus Samoa Joe. And this was an awesome match. Well, it actually was a really good match here. I really enjoyed it. The match starts right off. Joe tries to get him in the Corkia clutch, but Baron Corbin rolls outside the ring, and he's thinking about getting inside the ring. He's just kind of, doing what a heel does. He does it when he wants to get in, but Samoa Joe just gets like right in his face and tells him to get in the ring. I like it when he does that. And Samoa Joe hits a splash and an enziguri in the corner, and then a drop kicks him outside the ring. Joe goes to dive on Corbin. Corbin hits a right hand. He hits 3 splashes in the corner, and he tries to do something to him on the floor, but Joe counters with a roll-up, and Baron Corbin kicks out, but then Joe gets him in a half Boston Crab, and then he gets him in a crossface, and Baron Corbin's trying to grab the ropes, but Joe bends his arm back. I thought that was awesome. And then Baron Corbin throws Joe. Baron Corbin gets his leg on the rope, actually. That's how he gets out of that. Then Baron Corbin throws Joe outside the ring. He tries to dive on him on the outside, but Joe pulls his leg out, and he throws him into the Joe throws Corbin into the barricade, and Corbin out of nowhere gets Joe into a heel hook, which I thought was awesome, and we've never seen him do something like that before. And what else happened? Joe countered it somehow, and then they started trading punches to each other, and Joe started to make his comeback, and he started going off on Corbin. He goes for a muscle buster. Corbin counters it and hits a big boot on Joe, and then a suplex, but Joe kicked out of it. And Joe goes for the Corkia clutch, but Corbin fights out of it and hits like a choke bomb on Joe, but he kicked out of that. And he turns it right into the Corkia clutch, and Corbin passes out, so Samoa Joe wins. I was happy with this. I actually did predict he would win, because I think Baron Corbin needs to work on some win work and then come back, and I think he could be great. He's already great on the microphone, and I think Baron Corbin could be great overall. He's got the size and everything. I just think he needs to improve a little bit in the win, and then he'll be fine. So, I like this match here. It was really good stuff. But Baron Corbin did pull out some stuff that I didn't expect him to pull out. He ended up doing a tilt-a-whirl slam, too. I thought that was cool. So, I really enjoyed this match. So, I'm going to continue watching it. Okay, so Stephanie McMahon comes out, and she talks about how just woman wrestling is taking over. And then there's that Divas Revolution going on. And how Triple H said on the NXT panel that the women aren't main event, are just the main event in the shows. They are the main events. And the Revolution started on NXT, which is so true. And I don't know. I'm just speechless right now. So she brings out the participants for the NXT Women's Title match, and I'm going to talk about that right now. We had Sasha Banks defending the NXT Women's Championship against Bayley. Now, if you haven't watched any of my NXT reviews, you should know by now I'm not a Bayley fan. I don't like the gimmick. I never even watched the matches. I just was not a Bayley fan. Um, because I just don't like the gimmick, really, and there's other things, really, too. And I never really just gave Bayley much of a chance. Um, I don't know. I decided to watch this match, because people were telling me to watch it. But then watching this video package really sold me to watch this match. They have, Bayley has, like, these inflatable tubes. She's supposed to be, like, a very fun, kid-friendly person. She has that little kid fan. Talks about how she has people believe in her. And Bayley's talking about how her, Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks came in as the 4 horsewomen of NXT. And they were going to be like the ones to take over not just NXT, but the WWE. Well, for the women's division, anyways. And as this goes on, it shows Charlotte being on top and winning the NXT Women's title, then going to the main roster. It showed her turning on Bayley. It showed the friendship between her and Becky Lynch, and Becky Lynch turning on her, and her going on to main event her going on to the main roster. And it showed Sasha Banks talking down Bayley, talking about how nobody wants to see Bayley. You're too nice to win the title. And Sasha Banks being on it out. Sasha Banks winning the NXT Women's title and her going to War. And there was this picture of them as the 4 horsewomen, and Bayley just kind of fades away, and her music kind of dwindles, and the inflatable tube men deflate. And it shows Emma taking her out and her getting injured. And she says that she's sick and tired of people taking her spot on the roster, and it shows like the new woman coming up. And it shows her finally start to get some fire back by beating Emma in matches, Charlotte, Becky Lynch. And she talks about how she's sick and tired of being given these opportunities and always failing. Of her mom, she wants to prove to her mom that she can win in these NXT Women's title matches. And there's this different side of Bayley. It was just a really great video package. It sold me to watch the match. And it was a great match. I swear, every time they do an NXT Women's match on like a takeover, they steal the show. They just get better and better and better. I can't explain it. It's just so good. And Sasha Banks, this match wasn't just good in-ring wise, it was in good storyline wise. Because Sasha Banks is talking down Bayley, and Bayley just attacks Sasha Banks. She dominates her. She hits a springboard elbow while Sasha Banks is like in the trio roll position. And then Sasha Banks is going to take a minute. She's not going to get in the ring right now. And then Bayley drop kicks her while she's underneath the bottom turnbuckle. And Sasha Banks tries to do that double knees into the corner, but Bayley knows it's coming. And Bayley, Sasha Banks eventually takes out Bayley's knee and dominates the match for a while. She goes for that knee spot again, but Bayley sees it coming, so she tries to counter it. But Sasha Banks has a head scissors into the corner, and she goes from the top rope and hits the double knees into the corner. And Bayley kicks out of it. And then Sasha Banks talks trash to Bayley, says, "You're not worth my time. You're nothing. You're worthless. You're trash." And Bayley goes off on her, starts attacking her. And Sasha Banks hangs Bayley's arm up on the ropes, and Bayley's got her hand injured. Sasha Banks exposes the cast, bounces her hand, and works on the hand by bouncing it off the steel steps. She actually bends it back like this and just stomps on it on the floor. That was just, ooh. And then she does it in the steps. And she just really works on her hand. And then eventually Bayley starts to mount some comeback. She starts beating the crap out of Sasha Banks. And she ends up hitting a suplex into the turnbuckle. That was sick. And she goes for the belly to belly. But Sasha Banks counters into the, the bank statement. And Bayley's trying to get to the ropes, and when she's like close enough to reach the ropes, Sasha Banks stomps on her like the bad hand. I was sick. And then they do the sick chain grapple wrestling, sick submission wrestling reversal, where they turn her over, and Bayley gets Sasha Banks into the big slam, and that was really awesome. Um, and then Sasha Banks gets to the ropes, and then Bayley's about to flip Sasha Banks out, but she lands on her feet, and she hits the Bayley to belly on Sasha Banks, and Sasha Banks kicks out, and then Sasha Bayley tries to do like a hurricane run off the top, but Sasha Banks shoves her off, and then Sasha Banks hits the the double knees off the top, and Bayley kicked out of it. Then Bayley hits a Frankensteiner off the top rope and does a Bayley to belly in the ring and becomes the brand new NXT Women's Champion. There was also a spot in this match where Sasha Banks tried to grab her arm, but Bayley pushed her off, and she landed really hard off the turnbuckle outside the ring. I forgot to mention that. But it was a really awesome moment to finally see Bayley holding that NXT Champion Women's title. As much as I don't like the gimmick and all that, I gotta admit she does deserve this moment. They really had built her up for 2 years as this underdog that couldn't always would come this close to winning the title, and she finally gets it. The crowd went marked out for it. They were chanting for it. Charlotte and Becky Lynch come out and congratulate her, and then Sasha Banks hugs her, and afterwards they all stand in the ring doing the 4 symbol, like representing the 4 horsemen. And this makes me wish that they would have waited a little longer to bring up Charlotte, Sasha Banks, and Becky Lynch from to the main roster until Bayley was ready to go up, because then you could have done that Divas Revolution when Bayley was there and actually had brought in the 4 horsemen. You could have even had Paige like be the manager or something, but so this makes me kind of wish they would have waited, because it would have been even better than what they're doing now. What they were doing with the Divas Revolution, from what I was seeing, is still decent and pretty good stuff. That's still good, but I feel like it would have been so much better if you had brought up the 4 horsewomen with Bayley, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, and Sasha Banks, and they were the ones to take down Nikki and Brie the Bella Twins, and then Nikki Bella's long reign as Divas Champion. I wish that had happened instead. That would have been sick. But it's not going to happen. I would like to see like a rematch. I know technically it's already happened, but I would like to see a rematch from that match they did at the NXT Takeover Rival show for that Fatal 4. That would be really cool, because that would be a sick match. But this was a really awesome moment here, and awesome stuff. I really enjoyed it. Okay, so I gotta talk about this. So, Triple H on the show, they just showed the part of the show where he announced the UK Tour, that NXT is going to have the UK Tour. It's going to be going on from December 10th to December 16th, and the tickets are going to go on sale on August 28th, which is today. I'm not going to be going to that because I don't live in the UK. But I'm going to look forward to that show. The UK is always a great crowd to go to. The United Kingdom's a big wrestling country. I don't know what it is, but they just love wrestling, so I think that's gonna be great. The crowd, it's gonna feel like a different show, and NXT is just gonna be awesome. I'm happy about this, because NXT is great. So I think this is great stuff. But I just figured I'd kind of touch up on that. So let me continue watching the show. I'm just about done. Okay, so we have the main event. It's Finn Balor defending the NXT Championship against Kevin Owens in a ladder match. This was a great main event. It starts right out. Kevin Owens actually came out, and he talked about how a year ago he was watching the pay-per-view up there, but now he's the main event in one. And Finn Balor's entrance was amazing. He comes out as the Demon again, and this time, you see him at like one spot of the stage, and then he's at another spot, like a spotlight goes on him. It was really cool. I don't really know how they pulled that off. I'm assuming they just had different people dressed as him, because I was assuming he just ran to one side, but the spotlight went away so fast that you really couldn't, that there's no way he could have done that. And he actually came out with the title, because normally in ladder matches nowadays, they just have the title already up on the cable. But this time he came out with and they actually hung it up, which I thought was a nice old school touch. And when after Finn Balor comes out, you see Kevin Owens just sitting down in like one of those commentary chairs. I thought that was hilarious. And this was a great ladder match, like I talked about. Finn Balor hits a drop kick right off the bat. Kevin Owens hits a clothesline and a senton bomb. No, a senton. Sorry, I don't know why. A senton, and he hits a cannonball in the corner. Finn Balor hits the sling blade on him, and he goes to drop kick him into the turnbuckle, but Kevin Owens gets out of the way and he goes up to the stage to get the ladder that's up there so he can climb the ladder to get the title. And Finn Balor and him brawl, and they have a tug-of-war over the ladder, and Kevin Owens rams Balor right into the apron with the ladder, and he uses the ladder like a battering ram on him, and he acts like he's gonna run and like do something with the ladder like to his ribs, but he just runs and punches him in the head, which I thought was like a nice mind games kind of spot, psychology type. And they continue brawling around ringside. They fight into the fans, and Kevin Owens throws Finn Balor into the barricade. He tries to hit like the pump-up powerbomb into the barricade, but Finn Balor backdrops him over the barricade, and he goes to hit a dive on him, but Kevin Owens catches him and rams him into the barricade and throws him over the announcer's table, uses the top of the announcer's table and hits Balor with it, and Kevin Owens gets all cocky about it. He grabs the ladder from underneath the ring, and he goes to put it in, but then Finn Balor dives right onto Kevin Owens, but I think he kind of tweaked his knee a little bit. This probably was legit because the ladder landed on him. I don't know if this was like planned or something. And then Finn Balor hits a flip dive over the top rope, and it was just really cool stuff there. And then Kevin Owens just starts beating the crap out of him on the ladder. He uses it as a battering ram. He hits the senton again this time, but this time while Finn Balor's on the ladder, he slams him on the ladder, and Kevin Owens goes for the cannonball in the corner while the ladder's there, but Finn Balor moves out of the way, so he ends up going into the ladder, and Finn Balor hits the drop kick off a ladder into the ladder. I thought that was cool. Actually, Kevin Owens even went for a power bomb into the ladder, but Finn Balor countered it, and Kevin Owens went into the hinges of the ladder, which was cool. And then Finn Balor hit the coup de grace onto Kevin Owens, and he goes to get up the ladder to grab the title, but then Kevin Owens hits the power bomb off the ladder. That was really sick. And they continue brawling. Finn Balor hits an enziguri on him, and what happens next in the match? Kevin Owens goes outside the ring. He's out there somehow. I forget how. And Finn Balor, Finn Balor's climbing the ladder. Kevin Owens tries to pull him down, and pump up powerbomb him into the apron, but Finn Balor counters it. He kicks him in the head on the apron, and he tries to hit the coup de grace off the apron, but Kevin Owens moves out of the way, power bombs him into the apron, and Kevin Owens tries to get the title, but Finn Balor gets up, and Kevin Owens attacks him. He hits 2 super kicks on Balor, which looks sick, and then eventually he tries to do that reverse superplex off the ladder, and Finn Balor fights out of it, and he pushes Owens off the ladder on another ladder that's like bridged on it. And I forgot to mention this spot. Kevin Owens was climbing the ladder, and Finn Balor pushed him, and he went right into the turnbuckle first. That's how he actually ended up getting outside the ring to set him up for the powerbomb. And Finn Balor tries to get the title. This is after he's knocked him over into the bridge ladder. Finn Balor tries to get the title, but like the ladder's not like close enough where he can reach it. So he ends up hitting the coup de grace off the ladder, which is the thumbnail to this video, and that looked really sick. That was like the spot of the night. Right on to Kevin Owens, climbs the ladder, gets the title, and retains the NXT Championship. Amazing main event. I thought it was awesome. And overall, this show was awesome. I would say it was a really good show. I really enjoyed it. Every match was at least good to awesome. And I really enjoyed this show. I didn't just enjoy the show because of the matches either. I enjoyed it because NXT went from being like a small little kind of indie company, I guess. You can't really say that because it's still WWE level. But just to see what NXT's turned into recently from is just awesome. Ever since Triple H has taken it over, now it's going to be going to the UK. And I just think it's awesome stuff. I love it. And it's just great. And it even ended up going over, actually, because they were supposed to end at 11, but then the commentators were like, hey, this is our network. We can end whenever we want. So I thought that was awesome. It ended like 21 minutes over. I thought that was pretty cool. And like I said, too, like it ended up... I think they said the arena was packed. This showed out in less than 30 minutes. So that's like a really good sign for NXT. NXT's been like the brand to watch lately. Like I said, it's my favorite thing out of the wrestling shows to watch is NXT. I love watching NXT. It's awesome. I've been telling people to watch NXT. They're not listening to me. But if you want to watch NXT, this is why. Because it's awesome. You get good matches like Kevin Owens versus Finn Balor. The women get utilized, and that was and they had a lot of awesome moments in the show. Like you had Jushin Thunder Liger's first ever WWE match. You had that awesome women's match, seeing the women's get featured in that awesome moment with Bayley winning the NXT Women's Championship. Apollo Crews debuted. Just awesome stuff, and it's just great to see NXT, and it felt like it was like one of those main WWE shows, except better, because it wasn't like filmed where NXT is usually filmed in Florida. It was filmed in Brooklyn, and they treated it, and it felt like it was like a real mainstream WWE pay-per-view. So I really enjoyed this show for those type of reasons. And they had some production problems, though, where, like, they would show the replay and then you couldn't really see it too good. But other than that, it was a really good show. So I have to point that out. But, yeah, nothing else really bad to say about the show. And now you get more stuff to watch because I can't wait to see the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Tournament they're going to do. I can't wait to see what they do with that. And they have a lot of matches up for that already did happen this past Wednesday, so... NXT is looking like it's going to be some pretty good stuff for the next month, so I'm really happy about that. So that's pretty much it for my video. I'm going to end it off here. If you want to check out some other content on YouTube, you can check out my own Talkinator up here where I talk about non-wrestling videos. You can check out my CM Brothers channel down here where I talk about both wrestling and non-wrestling stuff. Over here, you can check out my friend James Hebert. He has 2 YouTube channels. One is called James Hebert, where he makes custom Titantrons of wrestlers and all that stuff. It's actually a pretty cool channel. I've checked it out like a lot, so check it out. And then over here is his Weymouth Youth Wrestling YouTube channel. And very, very, very soon he's going to hold that tournament for the WYW title. It's going to be a 32-man tournament for the WYW Championship, and I'm one of those 32 people in that tournament, and it's coming up very soon. I can't wait. But that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later. Oh, and also subscribe to my channel, too, so you can check out the future videos on this channel. That's going to be coming up a lot. So that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.